Tien finally gets some respect in a very powerful LR. But should you summon? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. We are discussing the brand new LR STR World Tournament Tien, and of course answering that age-old question: should you summon? We have a brand new powerful LR, and many of you guys are wondering whether or not he is worth your hard-earned dragon stones. So in this video, we are going to break down three major categories for which to determine whether or not he is of value there. Number one, we're going to look at the unit itself, right? Is he good enough to justify a summon based on that criteria? And two, of course, the unit does not exist alone. He is on a banner. We are going to make some predictions on who should be on his banner and whether or not that adds any value to your summon. And then finally, we'll take a look at what lies ahead. If you jump into this Tien's banner, what are you giving up in the near possible future? And does that make him worth it in comparison? So let's start by taking a look at the unit. Now, we are a little early in doing this should you summon, as we have yet to occur the data download for global or JP at this point, but there's a few reasons I wanted to get this out early before we jump in. Number one, right, with Dokkan Specials Day beginning, right, we have the tickets here for Dokkan Special Day. With that beginning to later this afternoon, I felt it important to get this out before that because there is a chance he drops at the same time, or at least a few hours after the tickets. Usually these tickets and the banners coincide. However, there's also a lot of suggestions to say that it may be a couple days as late as the 16th or 17th that he could drop. So because I will be traveling over the weekend, I wanted to go ahead and get this video out now. So with that in mind, let's go ahead, let's hop on in and let's take a look at the Tien. So he is a final trump card or Earthlings category, key 3, HP attack and defense 200%, and incredible leader skill. It's actually a really good leader skill. It gives him access to a lot of the powerful stables of the 10-year anniversary, as well as, you know, some possible EZAs in the near future. He activates an entrance animation upon his entry turn, which gives him key 4 up to 8 randomly at the start of the turn for 10 turns. This will help him achieve his 18 key. He has key 2 and attack and defense 250% and gives all allies defense for 2 turns when he appears. Before receiving an attack, he receives 75% damage reduction. This means, right, at all times, the first attack he's ever going to hit is going to be reduced by 75%. After receiving an attack as the first attacker in turn, he gets an additional 400% defense, damage reduction rate 30%, and key 3 attack 100%, defense 200%, and damage reduction rate 20% for 3 turns. So notice that it is a multi-turn passive there for that, in that effect. So in theory, you could put him slot 1 for turn 1, receive an additional key 3, attack 100%, and additional defense 200%, while also having at the same time an additional 400% defense and damage reduction rate of 30%. And then on this following turn, swap him into the second or third slot, depending on what you need to do, and have him receive an additional attack 100%. Defense 200%, guards has effective against all types for 4 turns, and is getting attack 400%, defense 200%, and a great chance of evading enemies' attack. This basically gives him, you know, the ability to go in either slots and still be viable no matter what, right? Right, if he gets the second, if he gets the second phase of his passive here, that means not only is he going to be incredibly offensive, right, 400%, 500% actually. You move him into slot 1 the next turn, now he's getting this passive, and he's got 600% attack, right? 600% defense, right? It's all around a really, really incredible way to use him. He's going to be, over 4 million defense in most cases post super, as well as, we're talking throwing out attack stats, rivaling like 80 million, right? Rivaling that of Tao and like Pycon on his good turns. So really, really good. I like this. It gives a lot of leeway and a lot of strategy to be utilized. When receiving an attack, or when receiving a Ki Blast super attack, he has a 50% chance to nullify and counter with tremendous power. If you are facing a category enemy of Kamehameha, he has a guaranteed nullification and counter. Very good, right? Some of the big bosses do have Kamehameha, like the blue Goku, which would easily be one of his hardest fights, but not anymore thanks to that. He can't touch him, that Goku can't. Now his super attack effect is interesting because his super attack effect, his 12 key is raising attack for the turn, but his 18 key is infinitely raising attack. So he can build up quite quickly, and being able to deal big damage, especially with this active skill. Now the active skill does deal ultimate damage, but also gives him guaranteed 24 ki for the turn, and it can be activated when facing Turtle School or Kamehameha enemy, or from the 5th turn from the start of battle. So it still has use no matter where you're at. So all in all, looking at the unit, he is arguably the best yellow coin LR of the year, even better than Pycon. Heck, he's probably better than the ones released last year. I mean, although that is, usually a given power creep and whatnot. But I mean, in relation to what they were compared to their releases, this guy is like Golden Frieza level compared to the ROF Duo. Like, that's what we're talking about here. Like, he's that good. So I would say that, in terms of summoning for him as a character, if you had the stones to summon for him and you jumped in on the banner and you got him, it would not have been a waste of stones, right? So that is one in the category for the character. He is worth your stones as a unit if you decide to summon for him, especially if you have Fizz Tao or the DB Saga team to set him up on. Now, the big question is, of course, now, well, he's not going to be alone. If I summon for him, what are the chances I'm going to pull something else that might not be of value, right? What about his banner? Well, the easiest thing we can do here is take a look at Pycon banner, right? This was the last yellow coin LR banner before this guy, and we can kind of use this as our jumping off point to see what would be on the banner, right? So with typical yellow coin banners post post pity, we have 3 LRs on the banner. We have 3 LRs on the banner here. This one here doesn't want to load, but it is the Kid Gohan. I don't know why the picture's not loading here, right? So he had the Pycon had Kid Gohan, had Vidal, Piccolo, and a bunch of tournament participant and other world warriors, sub-easy A's, and then of course the Golden Frieza. And this made sense given his leader skill, right? His leader skill being other world warriors or saviors. All of the categories were most of the units were on the category, or at least on the category of the primary Dokkan Fest, which was Cell at the time. So if we use that to jump off there, we can assume that the other units on the banner will be either will be either from Earthlings, Final Trump Card, or Mission Execution. If they were to drop some Earthlings on here, this is the more limited version, and probably no one there's really no one else in terms of LRs they can put here except for LR Bulma. I could see them putting LR Bulma on here, but otherwise, right, she's the only LR. Every other LR here is a free-to-play LR. So Bulma is the only Earthlings LR that could possibly be on there. In terms of TURs, there aren't really any sub-EZAs at the current moment that they can toss on here. For Earthlings, unless they could throw on like this Tien maybe onto the banner, but otherwise there really aren't any other units they could put on there. Maybe Mai as a, you know, random SSR, but I mean, those aren't really the ones we're concerned about, right? Whoever they are, they're random. They won't really be a big deal. Final Trump card has a few more possibilities that they can throw on there, such as the they could put in the LR Triku here. He's a possibility. Grade 8 Vegeta, Baby, Majin Vegeta, in Zamas, Cellmax, right? There's a lot here that they could actually toss on here. Goku and Piccolo, the 7th year Easy A's, right? We already said grade 8 Vegeta, so Kaioken Goku has a chance to be on here. I doubt they would put both on here, and I doubt they would do one without the other, so I do feel like that's less likely. So I could definitely see them doing something stupid like putting LR Triku on here, something of complete non-value. They like to do that with these. But that assumes they go for his leader skill, right? I'm sure 1 or 2 of the characters might be on there. Honestly, I think of all of these, Bulma probably has the greater chance since she's also from Dragon Ball Saga. And otherwise, Mission Execution is the next likely category that they could follow through. And even then, there's not that many choices here. Pycon is not returning. He's probably not going to be on anything until the Part 2 Carnival for GDC, so he's out of the question, which means Ginyu could be likely 17, Nappa and Vegeta, or the androids. Those are pretty much your only choices for mission execution. So very, very limited on the options that they could go with. If they want to go something real good, they could toss in a unit that has the possibility of having an LR Easy A, like the Goku Piccolo, or somebody who is useful within this meta, like the Great Ape Vegeta. He would be who could be very good. Although, right, someone like Kaioken Goku, who also has his ZZA, is also on Tao's team, so that could work as well. But either way, Banner won't be looking too hot, given the options that they have. Many of the units that they could put on there, aside from the 2 7th year Easy A's, and Bulma really won't have that much use in the current meta. So, unfortunately, that is a no for the banner. So we've got 1 in the category for the unit and 0 in the category for the banner. So all that leaves is what lies ahead. If we jump into the banner, what are we looking at here? So, if we jump into the banner, this is what we're given up coming up. We have, of course, the readjusted annual campaign for the global anniversary. Now the global Dokkan campaign. This campaign will take the global anniversary and combine it with the worldwide campaign and begin them both on the start of what used to be global's anniversary, which is the 7th of July. So this will be the very next thing that is coming to Dokkan following the end of this celebration, and we can pretty much confirm that this is going to start then, right? Because a lot of the big things from this celebration are all ending around that time, or at least when the countdown should begin, which is the 29th. So it's pretty much confirmed that that's when this is happening. So GDC is the very next thing. That means summoning for this new Tien, you are giving up summons on the, whatever is coming for this big global Dokkan celebration. And remember, since this is a big celebration, it will have the big celebration pity, that 2,500 stone pity requirement. Now, I doubt they're going to have 6 LRs again. It's probably going to be down to the typical 4 again, but that's still a lot of stones that need to be spent within the campaign to pity something, should you not pull them on the main releases. So any stones you use here is going to be taken away from that, and which I don't think is a good idea. Your stones at this point should be dedicated to whatever this global Dokkan campaign is. The big theories are, of course, things like Namek Goku, Super Saiyan Goku for the first time versus Final Form Frieza, or Dragon Ball Daima, or a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like, there's some big things that it could possibly be, and you don't, as much as I want to say Tien is super hype, you don't want to be giving up stones for that, of course, because it would be a shame to miss out on something like Daima Goku when he finally comes to Dokkan because you summoned for Tien. So that's right out of the question. So unfortunately, that is no in the category for both the banner and what is to come. So unfortunately, this is another banner that I have to give a full-on no recommendation for. I don't give that often, and it's only been the last few banners that I've had to fully do that for. In fact, I wouldn't even recommend tiering this one. I think most players should just straight up skip this banner, even though Tien is good. He'll be back very, very soon. No sense in wasting your stones now. Now, one thing to note, as we already talked about, you will have Dokkan Special Day tickets, right? So if you're a free-to-play player, you will have a chance to pick him up for free. So just keep that in mind, right? You will have your chance here. This will also be a pity banner, as well as a banner that will have the summon point system. So for you low play players out there, know that your first three, your first rotation is going to get you your points that'll be used for these tickets here that can be used to pick up one of these characters. So if you're low to play, you may want to continue you may want to do your three multis there to help you out. And of course, there will be guaranteed featured tickets, right? The 20 unit summons that give you, or 30 unit summons that give you a guaranteed featured unit. So if you're low to play, pay to play, definitely, maybe just do tickets and then steer off. I don't even recommend trying to go and pity this unit with GDC so close. Just maybe go for your summon points, because he'll probably get added to this summon points banner, which also for you free-to-play players, right? If you summon enough on the GDC banners, you'll also have a chance to pick him up there as well. So just keep that in mind. But otherwise, there's not really much incentive to jump in on this banner for anyone really, other than some major whales. So guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and in the comments down below, let us know whether or not you intend to summon for the new Tien. As I said, my full recommendation is to skip. It's not a recommendation I give lightly. It's not a recommendation I give often, right? Sometimes there is a bit of leeway there, but this time around, I do recommend fully skipping, especially with GDC being the very next thing to come to us here in less than 2 weeks. So guys, that's it for the video. If nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.